So what was that top intention that you
hmm
can rattle off right now for this year?
The top intention for this year is to win a show.
Welcome back to FitAccessNow. I'm your host, Danielle Willis, and I'm sitting here with Olympian, women's bodybuilder, all around woman, Theresa Ivancik. How are you today?
Thank you so much for having me. First off, I'm doing phenomenal. We're just trucking through our last, couple weeks for the big show. As we know, it's about 2.5 weeks. So we're doing everything we possibly can to secure a Olympian spot.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be one exciting year because there's new shows that are in. Obviously, we'll talk about the Triple O and what you're doing. Can you tell everyone
hmm
at home the whole process behind your choice to do the Triple O and everything that went into this particular prep?
So coming out of the prep from last year and going into Tampa, I got home, never really got a reverse from the coach. We kind of just like stopped checking in. I just didn't want to check in. I wanted to go back to normal life. I wanted to just be me. I just wanted to not worry about anything about bodybuilding. So I basically, not saying that I did 6 months, but I still ate. I was just not on a strict plan. I went out and had fun, but I still trained. And then coming into this year, I had to make a decision, with what I wanted to pay the coach, what I wanted to get involved in, how long I wanted to be doing this. And he suggested a 24-week prep. And I didn't feel that I needed a full 24 weeks. So we were just kind of like starting with the schedule, printing out the schedule and seeing like all these shows that we're in. And then I started doing the math. This one's this amount of weeks and, so forth. And then I like decided I didn't even know the Triple O Dynasty was a thing until I printed this out and then I looked at it because it's obviously the first show, but I was assuming that maybe I missed it all the other years because I didn't compete that early. Looked at the time frame and it was like 10 weeks. And I remember emailing Andrew, I'm like, what about this one? And he's like, I don't suggest it. He's like, it's really, really close. We wanted 24 weeks. He's like, but I'm up for the challenge if you are. I work well under pressure. And I think a lot other athletes work well under pressure just because it drags out.
As someone who's off right now and took the extra time, and I've been listening to different people's perspectives on how they approach their off time. I think that the off time is just as important, and the fact that you competed last year and then you just took that time. You said, you know what? I have birthdays, I've got this, I've got all these different things that I would like to do.
Mhm.
Let me put Theresa first. Then when I
Mhm.
feel the time is right, then I'm going to go and I'm going to go
Yeah.
100%. And that's
Yep.
important too. The
Yep.
balance of go
Yeah.
when you need to go and then take that time for yourself on your own schedule, because that makes the process a lot
hmm
more rewarding and you're not burning yourself out.
For me, it wasn't even the physical thing. So I'm saying like, I mean, I might have been in my own 6 month world without a coach or anything, but I coach. I know what's wrong and what's right. I know my portions, where I can, play a little bit. I'd say I was still 80%. You know what I mean? It just wasn't 100%, strict. But for myself, what I've learned over the years and 17 years is this isn't a physical game for me. It's a mental game. What we talk about today might not be what is going to be required for you. You might be in the same spot that I'm in where you're like, okay, I can flip the switch. Or if you played dirty in the off season and played around and wasn't on a structured plan, then yeah, you're going to need 16, 18, 20 weeks if you want to win, if you want to do your absolute
What
best.
was your top intention for this year? So what was that top intention that you
hmm
can rattle off right now for this year?
The top intention for this year is to win a show. I was like kind of heartbroken last year just because like I, was used to winning. I got those 3 wins. We made some mistakes. We know what we can't do. He knows my body now. I'm going in, I'm a one and done kind of person. This is the only show I'm doing this year. I'm not doing anymore, nearly for the fact that if I don't qualify for the Olympia, I don't have those expenses. This show has cost me more than any other show in my entire career, and I physically can't do it anymore and mentally can't do it anymore and my bank account can't do it anymore. Whether I win or lose, I left no stone unturned. I did the food, I did the training, I did everything I needed to do to qualify me to the Olympia. If it happens, great, another dream come true. If it doesn't, then I'm okay with that too.
Now, you mentioned that Andrew and you had the conversation about what worked, what didn't work. So did your approach for this season, how did it change from last season's approach with your coach?
There's a lot more food in the plan. There's a lot more high days in the plan. There was, yes, more cardio because I think it was to comp the food, but I think what we learned is you can't take food away from me or I deflate. I need to keep my legs, I need to keep the conditioning. So he was comping one for the other. So we were keeping a lot more carbs in the plan than usual. The other rule of thumb was, like I said, I can't take the water away. I obviously can't take the food away. I can't change the food that I have been eating as well. And it's also staying away from diuretics this year.
That's an important point that you just made about the knowing your body. Some people cardio, it works. Some people too much can be a detriment. Making sure you find that balance between keeping your body holding just the right amount, but not getting too inflamed, not getting too worn down, not breaking down the muscle that you're working on, but yet still keeping yourself full and finding that balance. Having that coach is good, that is aware of your body, and you guys can have those conversations and say, hey, this works, this doesn't work, and let's see it and try it out before we get going.
It was finals going into Tampa, and he called me on the phone. I was walking through the doors, and that was the statement. We obviously can't take this, and this away from you. I'm more of a genetic person than people realize. I have the genetics to do this, and obviously I've lasted that long and sustained without taking astronomically amounts of enhancements, which is why I can do this. I'm not using anything really fake. So if I'm on or off, you're never going to know because I've built what I've built. So whenever I pull off, I'm still going to keep what I have. I like the beauty, the pizzazz, the symmetry, the balance, just the muscle. I like that beauty behind it. I don't like the roughness. I don't like the hardness. I don't like the bigness. That's just not for me. I know when I look in the mirror, I say, this is female bodybuilding. And that's what each competitor has to be happy with walking on stage with, is the fact that they can look back in that mirror and say, I did this. This is me. I'm shocked this is me. And however anybody else wants to place me, that's fine. But we can't let that control how things happen after we walk off that stage.
And I agree with you. As someone who has unapologetically taken more time than most, you got to do what works best for you. You got to like what you look, what you see when you look in the mirror. And that's pretty much my answer to anybody. I know you said that you have your own regimen and you like to, keep it on the lighter side of things. So can you talk about some of your favorite supplements, those that you just can't live without, that you feel are really helping you out this season?
All in all, it's just like, well, one, it's not really about like this whole, like a lot of the supplements. It's basically the whole foods, like making sure that you've got a round balance of, that fat, that carbs, the protein in, so it's not drying you out. You're not looking, rough, on the men's. I'm taking like the omegas. I'm taking multivitamins, your berberine, like everything to get my digestive, because digestive right now is a very important thing. And if that's not firing at all cylinders on the inside, you're not going to have what you want on the outside. It's fueling, with the whey isolate, the EAAs, as your intro, and just following that regimen and giving your body that well-rounded like nutrients, in order to bring a softened up package is what I'm after.
Talk about who's on your team this year.
My main support, of like my fiance, he's been through the ringer, with me. Especially in these last couple of weeks, we've had a lot of ups and downs, and this is a topic that most people will talk. It happens, and if you're new to the sport, like, don't be wrong, it's going to happen. You're going to have fights, but the other partner, whether they're in the sport or not, they somewhat understand or they don't understand, what you're going through. You're tired, you're fussy, you're grumpy. You can't do anything. Your partner wants to go do something, but you can't do it. But he's been 100% supportive through this whole thing. My parents, have been the backbone to a lot of this stuff now. They're very supportive with that. My fan base is amazing. The amount of emails that I got saying that they were actually going to travel to the Triple O is kind of makes me nervous, because now like there's going to be a lot of people there, but it's just the people that I finally get to meet that has been following my journey for so long. Just everybody that messages me every day saying that you can do this, you're a champion. It happens every day. And everybody knows who they are. Mackenzie, my trainer, my side secretary, like, she is my best friend. All of the people that are watching this and all the people that are my fans and followers, I can't thank you guys enough. I have so much support and so many people that have been helping me through this. All my sponsors, the list, the laundry list is just incredible. that I can do this because of them, you know. And I think that there's a lot of pressure for myself because I'm doing this for myself, but I'm also doing it for this entire world because there's so many of them that are there to help and support. So you want to be your absolute best.
I know you said you're
Yep.
here to win. If you had to make a statement when you step on that stage this April, what do you want that statement to be?
The statement that I want is the whole package, you know, the whole proven package that you can keep femininity, you can keep balance. I was told to bring the legs up. I was told to condition them, have a V taper. I just want to walk out and have it all. I mean, because that's what my original goal was back in 2007 when I originally started this whole journey to like being where it's at now and finally see that package that I've always wanted to bring because I know there's been at every show you do, you get better and better and better. And that's what the judges want. They want to constantly see improvement. They want to see if they tell you you got to go fix something, you better come back and fix it. And I feel each year I've been able to come back even better and better and better and better. But it's after the show's over and you see that picture of yourself on stage and you finally brought everything that you could possibly bring and there's nothing missing. That's the statement that I want to make.
So what are you hoping to see from our division as a whole this year?
I wanted more shows for one, and I can't thank Alina Popa for creating that, the Romania Pro. She did jump on and add that. There's just not a lot for us females in the States to compete. So, I mean, I do feel like we're going to be pushing a lot of people into like 5 or 6 shows, but I get it. The competition's supposed to be steep. We are going to the Worlds, you know, it is for the Olympia, you know, and they want it to be, you know, a harder division, but I wish that there was going to be more for us, like more divisions, more publicity, more girls being sponsored. There is, because of you doing these podcasts, there's been a lot of other girls that have, you know, come out and done it. I myself am starting one. And it's going to be more like not more face on face. It's just going to be more of like seeing the experience of the sport. It's called the Triple Bs. It's the beauty, brains, and bodybuilding. It's taken a back seat right now because of, you know, obviously the shows and competing.
You hit the nail on the head. We definitely could benefit from more support, more publicity, and even more shows because yes, of course, women's bodybuilding is the toughest division for the ladies as far as what their overall expectations are. But to have more opportunities to show up and to represent would also be helpful as well. I think that this year it's going to be very telling to see because if we're having, you know, the shows that we have and it'll, you know, we got to see who's going to show up. Are we going to have, you know, 15, 16, you know, plus competitors in each show? Hopefully I'm speaking that to be because you want it to be so packed that they're going, okay, we got to add another one. We got to add another one. So it's like, okay, let's show up this year. Let's show up.
Yep. So honestly, that's what we need. We need more competitors coming into the shows. You know, we need to see the new generation coming up because I mean, like I said, it's got to keep lapsing. You know, you got to have new faces, new names, you know, coming into the sport as well. We can prove it to them and we can load these shows up and we can have, you know, 15, 20 some girls at each show. And they're going to say like, okay, well, here we go. Like somebody else needs to, you know, offer this as well.
So in closing, what ways besides the podcasts and, you know, the different avenues that we're doing off the stage, what ways do you think is going to be the ultimate way that we can all collectively support women's bodybuilding and push and elevate us up?
I think like just don't be afraid to like be yourself, be you, put content out there, showcase what we're made of. You know, I think it's just going to be more of that in your face type thing, you know, and we all need to work hard to like branch off and try different things as well. You know, I'm in the currents of like writing my ebook. I have a biography that I'm trying to get, you know, done again, back seat because of the shows. I have some casting things that I'm trying to get accomplished this year as well as influencing and sponsors. So the more you can put your face out there, and it doesn't necessarily like obviously with the influencers that I'm doing, that a lot of them doesn't have a whole heck of a lot to do with being an athlete. But when I'm doing these videos, I can still wear, you know, certain things and showcase myself as an athlete. So if that's going to reach a whole different kind of viewing of a crowd, they're going to see there's an athlete side too, and maybe they hit follow and maybe they start seeing the other side of things. There's a ton of people in the world. There's a lot of people that don't even really know what the whole athlete side is. What is the IFBB? What is the NPC? What is the stage? Like there's a lot of people that still have like no clue on that. So I think if we can keep pushing ourselves out there in cross communication ways, not meaning that it always needs to be a bodybuilding video in the gym and whatnot, it's just helping well rounded and getting it to be publicly seen even more, getting them to come to the other side and try the stage and get them to compete to keep the sport, going.
Keep it going, keep having these conversations, keep showing up, bridging the gap, and putting ourselves out there in other arenas and not just staying in our box, in our bubble, which it's easier said and done when you're not competing, in our own little way, as we get these opportunities, trying to leverage them into other ways that we can bring other eyes and audiences to this division, more so for us, because I mean, again, the eyes are on the men, their eyes, you said Arnold, and we're not even there at the Arnold, so it's like we got to find other creative ways where we can insert ourselves and be seen. This was great conversation. Again, thank you for coming back on the channel, Theresa. And we're wishing you the best of luck. Wishing you and all who are going to
Thank you so much.
Yes, everybody who's going to be competing. We're getting ready. We're almost to April to kick off the 2024 women's bodybuilding season. So you guys don't want to miss anything. If you're not following, follow Theresa Ivancik. It's very easy to find. And if you guys haven't, please click the link. Yes, if you haven't, please click the link and subscribe to this channel, FitAccessNow. We really appreciate it, all the support. Until next time, everybody, take care of yourselves, and we'll talk to you soon.